The Galactic Station was always busy. Ships came and went every hour. Aliens from 100 different worlds walked through the metal hallways. Some had 4 arms. Some had blue skin. Some floated instead of walking. And somewhere in the middle of all this chaos, there was one human dot. His name was Do-hyun. He was 26 years old and worked as a translator. It was not an exciting job, but it paid well. He spent most of his days sitting in a small office, listening to recordings and turning alien words into human words. Sometimes he attended meetings between diplomats. He would stand in the corner and whisper translations into a small device. Today was one of those days. Do-hyun walked through the main hall of the station. He was tired. He had not slept well last night. The bed in his room was too hard, and the air always smelled like metal. He missed Earth. He missed the rain and the trees and the sound of birds in the morning. But Earth was very far away. He looked down at his tablet as he walked. There was a meeting in 30 minutes. Some important diplomats from the Valori homeworld were coming to discuss trade agreements. Do-hyun had studied their language for 2 years. He knew it well enough to translate, but their culture still confused him. The Valori were a strange species. They were tall and thin, with silver skin that changed color based on their emotions. They had large eyes that seemed to look right through you, and they never smiled. Not once had Do-hyun seen a Valori smile. He heard footsteps behind him. Light footsteps, almost silent. He stepped to the side to let whoever it was pass by Dot, and then he looked up. A Valori woman walked past him. She moved like water, smooth and graceful. Her silver skin glowed softly under the station lights. Her hair was white and long, falling down her back like a river of snow. Her eyes were deep purple, the color of a sunset on a distant planet. Do-hyun stopped walking. He had seen many Valori before. He had worked with them, talked with them, translated their words. But he had never seen one like her. There was something different about this woman. Something that made his heart beat faster. Dot, without thinking, he whispered one word. Beautiful. It was quiet. Barely a sound. He did not mean for anyone to hear it. He did not even realize he had said it out loud. But she heard. The Valori woman stopped. Her whole body went still, like a statue. For a moment, Do-hyun thought something was wrong. Maybe he had offended her. Maybe he had broken some rule he did not know about. Then she turned around. Her silver skin was changing color. It started at her cheeks and spread across her face. A soft violet, like the first light of dawn. Do-hyun had studied Valori biology. He knew what that color meant. Dot. She was embarrassed. No, not just embarrassed. She was blushing. The woman looked at him with her purple eyes. They were wide, filled with an emotion he could not name. Her lips parted slightly, as if she wanted to say something, but did not know the words. Do-hyun felt his own face grow warm. He had made a mistake. A terrible mistake. He should apologize. He should explain that it was an accident. He should, "What did you say?" Her voice was soft, musical, like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. Do-hyun swallowed hard. I said. He could not repeat it. His tongue felt heavy in his mouth. She took a step closer. The violet color on her skin grew darker. "You called me something. A word I do not know." "Beautiful," Do-hyun said again. His voice was barely a whisper. It means you are pleasing to look at. That your appearance is nice." The woman tilted her head. Her long white hair shifted over her shoulder. "Humans have words for this? For how someone looks?" "Yes," Do-hyun nodded quickly. "Many words. Beautiful is one of them. Pretty is another. Gorgeous. Stunning. Lovely." He was rambling now, saying too many words. He needed to stop. The woman's eyes grew wider with each word. The violet on her skin spread down her neck. She looked at him like he had just told her the greatest secret in the universe. My people do not have such words, she said quietly. We describe function, purpose, efficiency. We say someone is tall or short, strong or weak. But we do not say they are beautiful. Dayan did not know what to say. He stood there, feeling awkward and confused. He had studied Valori culture for years, but no one had ever told him this. No one had mentioned that they had no concept of beauty. I am sorry, he said finally. I did not mean to offend you. Offend? The woman shook her head slowly. No, you did not offend me. She paused, and something changed in her eyes. A spark of something new. Something curious. Say it again? Do-hyun blinked. What? The word. Say it again. Human. Her voice was different now, softer, almost pleading. The violet on her skin was so dark, it was almost purple. She was looking at him with an intensity that made his heart race. Beautiful, Do-hyun said. You are beautiful. The woman closed her eyes. For a moment, she just stood there, breathing slowly. When she opened her eyes again, there was something new in them. Something warm. I am Lyra, she said. Diplomat of the Third Circle. And you are? Dayan. I am a translator. Dayan. She said his name slowly, tasting each sound. A translator who uses words my people have never heard. She smiled then. Just a small curve of her lips. But it was the first time Do-hyun had ever seen a Valori smile. I think I would like to learn more of these words. Before Do-hyun could respond, another Valori appeared at the end of the hallway. He was tall and severe, his skin a cold gray. Lyra, the man called out. The meeting is about to begin. Lyra looked at Do-hyun one more time. The violet had faded from her skin, but her eyes still held that strange warmth. We will speak again, translator. I am certain of it. She turned and walked away, her footsteps silent on the metal floor. Do-hyun watched her go, his heart still beating too fast. He had made a mistake today. He had called an alien diplomat beautiful without thinking. But as he watched Lyra disappear around the corner, he realized something. It did not feel like a mistake at all. And somehow, deep in his chest, he knew that this was only the beginning. 3 days passed after the incident in the hallway. Do-hyun tried to forget about it. He tried to focus on his work, on his translations, on the boring meetings that filled his days. But every time he closed his eyes, he saw her face. Those purple eyes. That soft violet blush spreading across silver skin. He could not stop thinking about Lyra. It was foolish. He knew that. She was a diplomat from one of the most powerful species in the galaxy. He was just a translator. A nobody. They had spoken for less than 5 minutes. There was no reason for him to think about her so much, but he did anyway. On the 4th day, Do-hyun was sitting in the station's food hall. He was eating something that looked like rice, but tasted like nothing. The food on the station was always bland. He missed the spicy food from home. He missed the warmth of a good meal made by someone who cared. He was so lost in his thoughts that he did not notice when someone sat down across from him. Hello, translator. Do-hyun looked up. His heart stopped. Lyra was sitting across the table. Her silver skin glowed softly under the lights. Her white hair was tied back today, showing the elegant curve of her neck. She was wearing formal Valori robes, dark blue with silver patterns. She was watching him with those purple eyes. I have been looking for you, she said. Do-hyun put down his eating utensil. He suddenly felt very nervous. Looking for me? Why? Because I have questions. Lyra folded her hands on the table. Her movements were precise, controlled. About what you said to me. About that word. Beautiful, Do-hyun said quietly. Yes. Lyra leaned forward slightly. I have been thinking about it for 3 days. I cannot stop thinking about it. My people have no word like this. We have no concept for it. And yet, when you said it to me, I felt something. Daohyun's mouth went dry. What did you feel? Lyra was silent for a moment. Her silver skin shifted colors slightly, a hint of that violet blush returning. I do not know how to describe it. There was warmth in my chest. My thoughts became unclear. I wanted you to say it again. I still want you to say it again. She looked down at her hands. These feelings confuse me. Daohyun understood then. For Lyra, this was completely new. Her entire species had no experience with compliments about appearance. No one had ever called her beautiful before. No one had ever called any Valori beautiful. In human culture, Daohyun said carefully, we believe that beauty is important, not just function or purpose. We notice when someone looks nice, when someone has features that please us, and we tell them. We use words to express our appreciation. Lyra looked up at him. Why? It was such a simple question, but Daohyun did not have a simple answer. Why did humans care about beauty? Why did they compliment each other? Because it feels good, he said finally. When someone tells you that you are beautiful, it makes you feel valued. It makes you feel special. It is a way of saying that you matter, that someone noticed you, that someone thinks you are worth looking at. Lyra's eyes grew wide. That violet color spread across her cheeks again. Humans have this power? The power to make someone feel special with just words? Yes, Daohyun nodded. Words have a lot of power in our culture. We can hurt people with words. We can heal people with words. We can make people fall in love with words. Love. Lyra said the word slowly, as if testing its weight. I know this word. I have heard it in human communications, but I did not understand it before. She fell silent, staring at the table. Daohyun could see that she was thinking deeply. Her mind was trying to process concepts that were completely foreign to her species. After a long moment, she spoke again. Say more words to me. Daohyun blinked. What kind of words? Words like beautiful. Words that describe how someone looks. Words that make someone feel. She paused, searching for the right term. Warm inside. Daohyun felt his face grow hot. This was strange. This was very strange. But Lyra was looking at him with such hope in her eyes, such genuine curiosity. He could not refuse her. Your eyes are like amethysts, he said quietly, deep and purple and full of light. Lyra inhaled sharply. The violet on her skin grew darker. Your hair is like starlight, white and pure and soft. Her hands tightened on the table. Your skin glows like moonlight on water. It is mesmerizing. Lyra closed her eyes. Her whole body trembled slightly. When she opened her eyes again, they were shining with something he had never seen in a Valori before. Tears, not sad tears. Something else. Something deeper. I understand now, she whispered. This is what humans have. This is your power. You can reach inside someone's heart with just words. You can make them feel things they have never felt before. Daohyun did not know what to say. He just sat there, watching this alien woman experience something her species had never experienced in their entire history. My people think humans are weak, Lyra continued. You are small. You are fragile. You live such short lives. We look at your bodies and see nothing impressive. But we were wrong. She reached across the table and touched his hand. Her fingers were cool against his skin. You are not weak. You have weapons we cannot see. Weapons that are stronger than any blade or ship. She stood up from the table. Her silver skin was slowly returning to its normal color, but there was still a hint of violet in her cheeks. I must go, she said. There are meetings I must attend, but I want to learn more, Daohyun. I want to learn all of your human words. I want to understand this power you have. I can teach you, Do-Hyun said without thinking. If you want. Lyra smiled. It was bigger than the first smile she had given him. Warmer. More real. I want that very much. She walked away then, her robes flowing behind her like water. Do-Hyun watched her go, his heart pounding in his chest. He had just agreed to teach an alien diplomat about human emotions, about compliments and beauty, and all the things that made humans human. He did not know if this was a good idea. He did not know where it would lead. But when he thought about seeing Lyra again, about teaching her new words and watching that violet blush spread across her skin, he felt something warm bloom in his chest. Maybe it was hope, or maybe it was something else entirely. Either way, he could not wait to find out. The weeks that followed were unlike anything Do-Hyun had ever experienced. Every few days, Lyra would find him. Sometimes in the food hall. Sometimes in the observation deck. Sometimes she would simply appear at his office door, her purple eyes bright with excitement. And every time, she wanted to learn more words. What is charming? She asked one evening. They were sitting in a quiet corner of the observation deck, watching ships drift past the window. It means someone who makes you feel happy when you are with them, Do-Hyun explained. Someone with a pleasant personality. Someone you enjoy talking to. Lyra nodded slowly, processing this new information. And handsome? I heard a human woman use this word for a human man. Handsome is like beautiful, but for men. It means a man who is attractive, who looks good. Lyra turned to look at him. Her silver skin caught the light from the stars outside. Are you handsome, Do-Hyun? Do-Hyun nearly choked. I do not know. That is not something I can decide about myself. Then I will decide. Lyra studied his face carefully. She looked at his dark hair, his brown eyes, the shape of his jaw. Yes, I think you are handsome. By human standards, you must be considered attractive. Do-Hyun felt his face burn with embarrassment. Thank you. Thank you. I think. Lyra smiled that small smile of hers. She had been smiling more often lately. Each time Do-Hyun saw it, his heart would skip a beat. Their meetings became longer. What started as quick lessons about words turned into hours of conversation. Lyra told him about Valori culture, about their homeworld with its silver forests and purple skies. She told him about their history, about how they had evolved to value logic and efficiency above all else. And Do-Hyun told her about Earth. He told her about the blue oceans and green mountains. He told her about music and art and poetry. He told her about how humans had created entire industries just to celebrate beauty. We have paintings, he said one night. Pictures that humans create just because they are beautiful. Not useful. Not functional. Just beautiful. Lyra looked at him in wonder. Your species spends time and resources creating things that have no purpose except to be looked at. Yes, we believe that beauty has value on its own. That creating something beautiful is worth doing, even if it serves no practical function. This is... Lyra paused, searching for words. This is the strangest thing I have ever heard. And also the most wonderful. But not everyone was happy about their meetings. One day, a tall Valori man approached Do-Hyun in the hallway. His skin was gray, his eyes cold and hard. Do-Hyun recognized him as the man who had called Lyra away during their first meeting. Human, the man said. His voice was flat, without emotion. I am Tarek, senior advisor to the Valori delegation. Do-Hyun stopped walking. Can I help you? You can stay away from Diplomat Lyra. The words hit Do-Hyun like a punch to the stomach. What? Tarek stepped closer. He was much taller than Do-Hyun, looking down at him with cold contempt. I have watched you. I have seen how you meet with her. How you fill her head with your human nonsense. These words you teach her, these feelings you cause in her, they are dangerous. Dangerous? Do-hyun could not believe what he was hearing. I am just teaching her about human culture. You are corrupting her. Tarek's voice grew harder. Humans are emotional creatures. Weak creatures. You let your feelings control you. You make decisions based on desire and attraction instead of logic. And now you are spreading this weakness to our people. Do-hyun felt anger rise in his chest. There is nothing weak about emotions. Emotions are what make life worth living. They give us passion and purpose, and they give you chaos, Tarek interrupted. They give you war and conflict and irrationality. The Valori became great because we rose above such things. We do not need your human feelings. He leaned closer, his gray face only inches from Do-hyun's. Stay away from Lyra. If you do not, I will make sure you are removed from this station, permanently. Tarek walked away, leaving Do-hyun standing alone in the hallway. His heart was racing. His hands were shaking. He had never felt so threatened in his life. That night, Lyra came to his office. She could tell immediately that something was wrong. What happened? She asked, her voice filled with concern. Do-hyun told her about Tarek, about his warning, about his threat to have Do-hyun removed from the station. Lyra's expression changed as she listened. The violet blush that usually colored her cheeks when she was with him was replaced by something darker. Her skin turned a deep blue. Do-hyun knew what that color meant. Anger. Tarek has no right to threaten you, she said. Her voice was low and dangerous. He's not my guardian. He does not control who I speak to. But he is right about one thing, Do-hyun said quietly. I am changing you, Lyra. I am teaching you things that go against your culture. Maybe I should stop. No. Lyra grabbed his hand. Her grip was strong, urgent. You cannot stop. Not now. These things you have taught me, these words and feelings, they are the most real things I have ever experienced. For the first time in my life, I feel alive. I feel like more than just a diplomat. More than just a function. She looked into his eyes, and Do-hyun saw something there that took his breath away. When I am with you, she whispered, I feel beautiful. Not because of how I look, but because of how you see me. You see something in me that no one else has ever seen. And I cannot give that up. I will not give that up. Do-hyun did not know what to say. He just held her hand, feeling the cool smoothness of her silver skin against his palm. They will try to separate us, Lyra continued. Tarek will go to the council. He will tell them that I have been corrupted by human influence. They will try to send me away. Then let them try, Do-hyun said. He surprised himself with the strength in his voice. I will not let them take you away. I will fight for you, Lyra. I do not know how, but I will find a way. Lyra smiled then. Not her small, careful smile. A real smile. Wide and bright and full of emotion. There is a human word for what you just said, she told him. For when someone promises to fight for another person. For when someone decides that another person is worth any risk. What word? Lyra leaned close. Her lips brushed against his ear as she whispered, love. Do-hyun's heart stopped. Then it started again, beating faster than ever before. He did not know what the future held. He did not know if they could overcome the forces that wanted to tear them apart. But in that moment, with Lyra's hand in his and her smile lighting up the room, he knew one thing for certain. He was falling for her, and he did not want to stop. The summons came exactly as Lyra had predicted. 10 days after Tarek's threat, a formal notice arrived at her quarters. She was to appear before the Valori Council immediately. The matter was urgent and required her full attention. Do-hyun found out when he went to meet her at their usual spot on the observation deck. She was not there. Instead, he found a short message on his tablet, written in Lyra's careful handwriting. The council has called me. Do not worry. I will find you after. But Do-yun did worry. He worried all day, unable to focus on his work. He made mistakes in his translations. He forgot appointments. His mind was consumed with thoughts of Lyra standing before the cold, gray faces of the council. What would they do to her? Would they punish her for spending time with a human? Would they send her away? The hours passed slowly. Each minute felt like an eternity. Do-hyun tried to eat but could not taste the food. He tried to sleep but could not close his eyes. Finally, late in the night cycle, there was a knock at his door. Do-hyun jumped up and opened it. Lyra stood there, her silver skin pale and dull. She looked exhausted. Her purple eyes were dim, missing their usual light. What happened? Do-hyun pulled her inside. What did they say? Lyra sat down heavily on his small couch. She stared at the floor for a long moment before speaking. They were not pleased, she said quietly. Tarek told them everything. He told them about our meetings, about the words you taught me, about how I have changed, and they are afraid. Lyra looked up at him. The council fears human influence. They believe that emotions are a disease, that feelings spread from person to person like an illness. They think that if I continue to meet with you, I will infect other Valori. Do-hyun felt cold inside. What did they decide? They gave me a choice. Lyra's voice trembled slightly. I can end all contact with you and remain here as a diplomat. Or I can continue to see you and be reassigned. Reassigned where? A colony on the edge of Valori space. Far from any human stations. Far from anyone who might contaminate me further. Do-hyun's heart sank. The edge of Valori space was years away. If Lyra was sent there, he would never see her again. Their time together would end forever. What are you going to do? He asked. His voice came out as a whisper. Lyra was silent for a long time. When she finally spoke, her voice was strong despite the tiredness in her face. I do not know yet. That is why I came to you. I need to think. I need to decide what matters most to me. She looked around his small room. It was not much. A bed, a desk, a couch. The bare minimum for a station worker. But to Lyra, it felt warmer than any palace on her homeworld. Before I met you, she said slowly, I thought I knew what my life would be. I would serve the council. I would negotiate treaties and trade agreements. I would be efficient and logical and empty inside. I never questioned it. I never knew there was anything else. She reached out and took his hand. But you showed me another way to live. You showed me that feelings are not weakness. That beauty is not a waste of time. That there is more to existence than function and purpose. Tears formed in her purple eyes. Real tears. Something almost unheard of among the Valori. How can I go back to the way things were? How can I pretend that I do not feel these things? That I do not feel this? She gestured between them. Between her heart and his. Do-hyun squeezed her hand. You do not have to go back. You do not have to choose their way. But the cost, I know the cost. Do-hyun moved closer to her. I know what you would be giving up. Your position. Your career. Your place among your people. But I also know what you would be gaining. What? Freedom. Do-hyun lifted her chin so she was looking into his eyes. The freedom to feel. The freedom to love. The freedom to be more than what others expect you to be. Lyra's skin flushed violet. That beautiful blush that Do-hyun had come to love. And what about you? She asked. What are you willing to give up? It was a fair question. Until now, Do-hyun had only thought about what Lyra might lose. He had not considered his own sacrifice. But as he looked at her face, at those purple eyes that held so much hope and fear, he realized there was nothing he would not give up for her. "Everything," he said simply. "I would give up everything to be with you, Lyra. My job, my position on this station, my connection to other humans. None of it matters if I cannot see you." Lyra stared at him. "You would do that for me?" "Yes," Dayun smiled softly. "That is what humans do when they love someone. They fight for them. They sacrifice for them. They choose that person over everything else." "Love." Lyra breathed the word like a prayer. "Is that what this is? Is that what I feel for you?" "I think so." Dayun touched her cheek gently. Her silver skin was warm against his fingers. "And I think I love you too, Lyra. I did not expect it. I did not plan for it. But here we are." They sat together in silence, holding each other in the dim light of his small room. Outside the window, stars drifted past. Ships came and went. The universe continued on, uncaring of the two people who had found each other against all odds. "I will not let them send you away," Dayun said finally. "There must be another way. Something we can do to change their minds." "The Council does not change its mind," Lyra said sadly. "They have ruled the Valori for thousands of years. They do not listen to diplomats. They certainly do not listen to humans. Then we will make them listen." Dayun's voice grew stronger. A fire was building in his chest. "Your people think humans are weak because we feel things. But they are wrong. Emotions are not weakness. They are power. The power to inspire. The power to move hearts. The power to change minds." He stood up, pulling Lyra to her feet. "I am a translator. I work with words. And you once told me that human words have power your people have never seen." He looked into her eyes with fierce determination. "Let me speak to the Council, Lyra. Let me show them what human words can do." Lyra's eyes widened. They would never allow it. A human speaking to the Valori Council? It has never happened. Then let us make history. Dayun smiled. "Let us show them that humans are not weak creatures to be feared. Let us show them that our emotions, our words, our feelings are gifts worth embracing." For a long moment, Lyra just stared at him. Then, slowly, a smile spread across her face. That beautiful smile that made his heart soar. "You are either very brave or very foolish," she said. "Maybe both." "Maybe both," she agreed. She leaned forward and pressed her forehead against his. A Valori gesture of deep affection. "Very well, Dayun. We will make history together." And in that moment, holding her close, Dayun believed they could do anything. The council chamber was cold. Everything was cold. The walls were smooth gray metal. The lights were harsh and white. The air smelled like nothing at all. 7 Valori elders sat on elevated seats, looking down at the small human who had dared to request an audience. Dayun had never felt so small in his life that it had taken 3 days to arrange this meeting. Lyra had called in every favor she had. She had begged and argued and pushed until finally, reluctantly, the council agreed to hear the human speak. "You have 5 minutes," the head elder said. Her name was Vera. She was ancient. Her silver skin faded to almost white. Her eyes were pale gray, cold as ice. "Make them count?" Dayun looked up at the 7 faces staring down at him. 7 pairs of eyes filled with suspicion and contempt. 7 Valori, who believed humans were inferior creatures ruled by dangerous emotions. He had to change their minds. In 5 minutes, with only words, he took a deep breath and began. "Honorable members of the council, I stand before you as a human, a species you have studied and analyzed and dismissed. You look at us and see weakness. You see creatures controlled by feelings instead of logic. You see chaos where you value order." The elders watched him silently. Their expressions did not change. But I am not here to argue that you are wrong about us. I am here to tell you that what you see as weakness is actually our greatest strength. A small murmur ran through the chamber. Tarek, standing in the corner, scowled deeply. For thousands of years, humans have created art. We have painted pictures and written poems and composed music. Not because these things are useful, not because they serve a practical function, but because they are beautiful, because they move us, because they make us feel. Dahyun walked forward slowly, his footsteps echoing in the vast chamber. You might ask, what is the point? What do humans gain from beauty? And the answer is, everything. Beauty gives us hope. It gives us inspiration. It gives us the will to keep going when logic tells us to give up. He thought of Lyra, of her silver skin and purple eyes, of the way she smiled when he taught her a new word. When I first saw Diplomat Lyra, I called her beautiful. It was an accident, a word that slipped out before I could stop it. But that single word started something incredible. It opened a door that had been closed for her entire life. It showed her that there was more to existence than duty and function. The head elder, Vera, leaned forward slightly. Her expression was still cold, but there was something else there now. Curiosity. You fear human emotions because you do not understand them. You see them as a disease that spreads and infects. But emotions are not a disease. They are a gift. They connect us to each other. They give our lives meaning beyond mere survival. Dahyun's voice grew stronger. Lyra told me that Valori do not have a word for beautiful. You describe things only by their function. A person is tall or short, strong or weak. But you never say they are lovely. You never say they are precious. You never look at another being and feel your heart move because of how wonderful they are. He looked directly at Vera. Do you not see what you are missing? Do you not feel the emptiness of a life without wonder? Without beauty? Without love? The chamber was completely silent. Every eye was on him. I love Lyra. I know that word means nothing to most of you. But let me explain what it means to a human. It means I would die for her. It means I would cross the galaxy for her. It means that her happiness matters more to me than my own. It means that when I look at her, I see everything that is good and bright in the universe. Tears formed in his eyes. He did not try to hide them. You can send her away. You can separate us. You can punish her for spending time with a human. But you cannot take away what we have. You cannot erase the feelings she has discovered. She has learned what it means to be more than a function. She has learned what it means to be beautiful. He took one final step forward. Humans are not weak because we feel things. We are strong because we feel things. Our emotions give us courage when we are afraid. They give us strength when we are weak. They give us hope when all seems lost. And they give us love, the most powerful force in the universe. He spread his arms wide. I am just a translator. I am small and fragile, and I will live a short life compared to any of you. But I have something you do not have. I have the ability to look at another being and see not just what they are, but what they could be. I can see beauty where others see only function. I can feel love where others feel nothing. His voice dropped to almost a whisper. And I believe, with all my heart, that your species deserves to feel these things too. Not because they are useful, not because they serve a purpose, but because they make life worth living. The silence that followed was absolute. None of the elders moved. None of them spoke. They simply stared at the small human standing before them. Then, slowly, something extraordinary happened. Vera's silver skin began to change color. A faint violet spread across her ancient cheeks. Her cold gray eyes seemed to warm slightly. In all my centuries, she said quietly, no one has ever spoken to the council like this. No one has ever dared. Dolian waited, his heart pounding. You speak of beauty and love as if they are weapons. As if they have power. Vera paused. Perhaps they do. She looked at the other elders. Something passed between them. A silent communication that Do-hyun could not understand. Finally, Vera spoke again. The council will reconsider its decision regarding diplomat Lyra. We will not send her away. Not yet. She looked directly at Do-hyun. But you must understand, human. You have started something today that cannot be stopped. You have planted seeds in our minds that will grow whether we want them to or not. A small smile crossed her ancient face. It was strange and unfamiliar, but it was real. Perhaps that is not a bad thing. The doors of the chamber opened. Lyra rushed in, her silver skin flushed violet with emotion. She had been waiting outside, listening to every word. She ran to Do-hyun and threw her arms around him. For the first time in Valori history, a diplomat embraced a human in front of the council, and nobody stopped her. You did it, she whispered. You changed their minds with words. Do-hyun held her tight. Not just words. Words filled with truth. Words filled with feeling. He looked up at the council. At Vera, whose ancient eyes now held something they had never held before. Wonder. Say it again, Lyra whispered, pressing her forehead to his. Do-hyun smiled. You are beautiful, Lyra. You are the most beautiful being in the universe. And this time, when her skin flushed violet, it was not embarrassment, it was joy. It was love, It was everything, and in that cold chamber. Surrounded by aliens who had never known emotion, something new was born. Something wonderful. Something that would spread across the Valori people like warmth, spreading through frozen ground, all because one human had called one alien girl beautiful. And she had blushed and said, Say it again.